That if you understand it, it guarantees to take you from being unprofitable to profitable. It is guaranteed to take you from incurring losses upon losses to being a winning trader. Because I believe there is such a concept. I've applied it and it has worked for me. By the end of this video, I'll show you two powerful things you can do or mistakes you can correct in your trading in order to maximize results. This took me relatively a couple of years to understand, but I'm about to give it to you. So make sure that you're paying attention. This concept has single-handedly taken me
buy set up media kawana the boys also the idea.
Okay, so good morning, guys. This is the pair I've been looking at this particular morning. This is GBP AUD. So yesterday I shared a buy setup on this one. Okay, so let's look at what made me to take this trade. So even on the daily time frame, you can see that this pair has been very bearish. Okay, I was bearish until when the market opened, it opened with this huge momentum to the upside. Having done that, then we could see that there has been a break of structure at this particular level. Okay, so this break of structure changed my intention for being bearish. Okay, so since that I had to change or switch back to the lower time frame to see what is actually going to happen since we have had a break of structure to this upside. So we had a supply zone over here where price failed to, know, react to it since the momentum was very high. So upon price coming down, it came to tap inside this particular zone. Okay. So when you switch to the lower time frame like that of the 1 hour, you see that price came to tap inside the zone before it went to the upside. Now let's look at what's happening when price went to the upside. Okay, so as price came to tap inside this particular zone, it went above breaking structure. Okay, it broke above this one, and there's a weak breakout. Okay, most of the time people say they don't consider weak breakout, but then every breakout is a breakout. To me, every breakout is a breakout because when you switch to the lower time frame, you're going to see a body candlestick, okay, inside this particular week, maybe on the 15 minutes or even 5 minutes. Is the reason why I don't ignore week breakout. But then sometimes you have to be very flexible and know which one to go for. Okay. So as price went to break out at this level, it created this demand zone. Okay. So then I had to refine this demand zone since it was huge. Most of the time I do refine my zones to um, avoid higher risks. Okay, so I refine the zone to the 30 minutes time frame. Then I came to find this inside candlestick bar. This is called inside bar. Okay, the candlestick with both sides with equal wicks, okay, with a smaller body and then equal wicks. It looks like a kind of doji, okay. Yeah, so I shared this particular trade to the Telegram community, my Telegram community. So if you're not in the Telegram community, you can join and then see this particular trade. So so price actually rallied, okay, give us a huge momentum to this supply zone. So I was actually expecting to sell from this level, of which I sold. Okay, yesterday evening I sold. That was around 5 thereabouts. So I sold upon a little drop when the Asian session started. Then I needed to close the trade because most of the time I don't want to trade the Asian session. Okay, and I was very tired and feeling sleepy, so I wouldn't be able to monitor. So I had to close this trade. Fortunate for me closing this trade, I woke up to see the price. What a flip zone is. Example is with this. You have a supply zone of which price is going to the upside like that. Price tap inside a zone, but it fails to drop to break below this structure. Okay, so as it drops a little bit, it breaks above the zone. Okay, in this time around, when price is coming, you don't expect that price will come and test this resistance and then go to the upside, but rather it will come to the zone that failed. And this movement, okay, the movements that happen at the drop or at the mitigation of the zone. So this is the movement, this small movement here. That is what price is coming to tap in to go to the upside, having caused a demand zone anywhere around this area. So price is likely to tap inside that zone. That's what we mean by flip zone. So price will tap in and then move to the upside. So that is what I focused on this morning to pick my next trade. Okay, so I marked that on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, this was the initial. Let me take this off. Right, this was the mitigation. The mitigation was this week. Okay, price went to tap in and then drop. But as it is going down, sorry, as it was going up, we are looking at considering this whole movement as our flip zone. Okay, so which one do we take? Now we have to consider the move that broke structure. Okay, the last move that broke structure, and here comes one pattern of my strategy I use. That is the hidden engulfing, or you can call it a flag limit. Okay, so flag limit is where price gives you both sides wick intercepting another candlestick, and that is the example you are seeing here. So let me quickly draw an example for you to see. So you have a body, and then another body also comes this way. So you are seeing both wicks intercepting a different body. Okay, this wick is intercepting this one, and this wick is also intercepting this body. So when you switch to the lower time frame, you are likely to see a demand zone. Okay, so most of the time I just mark the end wicks. Okay, so this is how to mark the end part of the wick and use that as your entry point. And this has been working for me so well. Okay, so I'll mark this side, the wick, and this wick, and that's going to be my zone where I'm going to take my trade. Yes. Okay, so price actually came to tap in, and then you can see price is already making some move to the upside, of which I'm in this trade, and I shared it to my VIP community. So those in my VIP community have advantage of this particular trade. So now let's look at that of Euro AUD, which is also having the same structure, okay, the same pattern. Yeah, so this one also give us the same pattern like I talked about. Tap inside. Let me give you the clear view of this. Okay, so with my trend line strategy, I have a trend line strategy that comes with a different concepts. So I have about 7 different trend line concepts. Okay, so I have type 1 to type 7. So with all these trend lines, each of them has its own theory that has to be line, drop a little bit, and then finally broke above the zone. So broke above the trend line. So um, I look at my entry criteria, of which I just gave you one. That is the flag limit or hidden engulfing. It's the same thing you can see here. Okay, the same thing happened on this particular pair. So pairs are correlated. Okay, they are positively correlated. So I had to mark them. Um, Whatever you see on Euro AED, you're likely to see the same thing on GBP AED. Okay, so I marked this zone and price came to tap in and it's going to the upside already. So my first target will have to be my first target will have to be about this highs or this highs. But I'll be looking at price going above the zone. Okay, but whatever happens, my first target is this particular trade because I'm using a standard lot on this trades I picked. So let me check the pips from this zone to that zone. That is 71 pips. Okay, that is enough using a standard. Okay, so that is my view on AUD, Euro AUD, and then GBP AUD. Those are my two trades I'm running currently. And then I also have another trade on, let me check, GBP USD. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, so I have GBP USD, and I'm just seeing that I have my take profit hits. Okay, so that's GBP USD. This is GBP USD. I have my take profit hit already. I bought at this particular level. That's this zone, and I'm waiting to um, get triggered from this particular zone. So now let's look at the overview of this particular trade. So let's look at it from the higher time frame and we scale down to the lower time frame. So I think I have already shared this in the Telegram community too as well. So this is GBP USD. On the higher time frame, I'm looking at buying GBP USD from this trend line. I'm looking at buying from this trend line to the upside. Okay, tap in here and then to the upside. But then price didn't tap in. It got a reason from this particular engulfing. Okay, there is a daily engulfing of which I wouldn't have been able to pick a trade from it. So I was waiting for it to tap on a trend line. Because this is so huge for me to pick a trade on the higher time frame. Okay, that is a daily time frame. Okay, so that is that. So price has already mitigated the daily engulfing and has come to tap inside this daily zone we marked as well. So let's look at reasons why we marked that level as our zone. Okay, so this was the last supply zone that broke structure to the downside. Okay, so it broke structure here to the downside. Is the reason why I marked that zone. Is the reason why I marked this zone because it was the last momentum that was able to break structure to the downside, having mitigated the daily engulfing. So I'm looking at it selling back again to this particular level to give us confirmation so we can buy. Okay, either this level or it's finally dropped to the trend line. Okay, yes. So that is what I'm looking out for. So on the 4 hour, mostly when you're working with a daily time frame, you should be working. Its correlated time frame is the 1 hour time frame. So you have to pay much attention to that too as well. So price has mitigated a zone. So I was looking for an entry. So if I'm on the 1 hour time frame, then I'm looking for an entry, then it means I have to jump two time frames lower. So I have to go to the 15 minutes time frame. Like I said earlier, every time frame has its correlated time frame that it works with. So I had to switch to the 15 minutes time frame. And let me show you one more thing. I got the same hidden engulfing from this particular level. Okay, so you can see that I have hidden engulfing. You see, I have this rake and then the upper rake too as well. Let me adjust it to fit. Yes. So this is the reason why I'm looking out for my entry from this particular zone. So now let me switch back again to the 15 minutes time frame. So this is the 15 minutes time frame. Okay. So I'm waiting for price to trigger this zone and then sell. Already it has started selling, but I still want to wait for price to tap inside the zone before I sell. So I'm waiting. My orders are set. You can check as well on your phone or on your MT5 and then do the same markings. So I'm waiting for price to tap inside this zone and then sell. And you know my target already. I'm targeting this level. Reason being that it's the last zone, the last demand zone that broke structure to the upside. Okay, the reason why I'm looking at start taking my buys from this level. And as price is coming, it's definitely going to create another supply zone on its way. So we are likely to have price tap in, go up, and then now finally drop so huge to our expected um, level. Okay, we are looking at price coming down to this zone again. So that is that on GBP USD. So the next one, let me look at USD JPY. USD JPY, we've had a long ride on a trade setup I shared on Monday, and it's still dropping so huge. Yes. So this was a trade setup I shared on Monday, and very unfortunate for me, I had to close my trade somewhere around here. Never did I know that price was going to drop so huge. Yes, there has been several pullbacks where I could have capitalized on, especially from this zone, but I was so busy I couldn't monitor. I'm looking at price tapping inside this zone because it has broken structure to the downside from this level. Yes, where price has engineered some liquidity a bit okay, and it's looking like um, I'm waiting for price to just tap in and then we sell from this particular level. Target the low down to mitigate the highs. That's what we're going to target. And then our stop loss, you have to just reduce it to 30. 30 pips and you're targeting 97 pips. That's 1 to 3 risk reward. I think this is not bad. This wouldn't be a bad trade. 1 to 3. Okay. So that is my focus on for this morning. On GBP JPY, let me see what I have on GBP JPY. Okay, so on JPY yesterday, I had this sales. Oh, I have missed the trade. I've missed the trade. I had a sales, but I closed early. Okay, I closed early. Then price has come to tap on my trend line. I was actually waiting for this zone. Okay, so it didn't tap inside my order hasn't been triggered, but it's only mitigated the, the trend line. So as it's going, I'm looking at selling from this particular level. So I have to go 4 hour time frame to check. Okay, so this is the 4 hour time frame. And you can see that price. Let me delete some of this stuff. Okay, so you can see clearly. Okay, let me just delete this trend line. So you can see clearly that you have a nice zone here where price has already tapped in. Okay, price has tapped in, but I'll be looking at this. Let me see if I can get a trend line to reduce the risk of this trade. Okay, so I have a trend line here, and I have another trend line to here. Okay, so for these two trend lines, which one will give you a lesser risk? Probably this one. Okay, this one, and this is resistance, support, resistance, resistance. That's type two of my trend line strategy. So I just switch back. So I'm waiting for price to tap inside this one. So now let me just reduce the zone. So let me do MTF, multi-time frame analysis on this one, and then see the potential one. So looking at the engulfing patterns that I trade, let me check which one will be so good for me. So this one broke structure, this one engulf this one, and this. So I'll consider this one. Already, it is selling already, but I'll wait for price to tap inside this one. That will give me a lesser risk to hold for long. Okay, so selling from that zone, let me check. That will give me. I don't want to rate more than 30 pips per single trade. Okay, my maximum rate per trade is 30 pips. Okay, so this is even 30, and that's even above this one. So that's fine. Or either I wait for price to tap in, give me a confirmation on the 3 minutes time frame, then I hold this trade to this particular level. That's 140 pips. Yes, this is what I have for today. If you have any pair you want me to look at it for you, you can drop it in the comment section, then I quickly look at it. Guys, I'm waiting. If you have any pair you want me to look at it, you can drop it, type it in the comment section. Then I look at it by we are already we've already spent 36 minutes on this call. By 40 minutes we should end. Okay, we should end this particular section. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. So someone says analyze GU already. Maybe you joined late. So we've looked at GU where I said we taking from the higher time frame, we are looking at price selling from this zone. Okay, and price has already tapped in, so we are looking at price coming down either to okay, we are looking at price coming more, okay, or we are looking at price coming all the way to this zone again before it finally go to the upside. But now price has already tapped inside the zone. Okay, so what do? We have to refine the mitigation. Okay, because you can't just place your trade um, on such higher time frame. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Like I said earlier, if you're dealing with the daily time frame, the next correlated time frame of the daily time frame is the 1 hour time frame. Oh, hold on. Let me check if my trader has triggered. Yes. Okay, good. So price has tapped in. Now we are looking at it to have an entry. And where do we put our entry? So the next block we have here is this particular level. Okay. So I'm looking at taking a trade from this level. So my orders are set inside this zone. Okay. And then down to this particular zone. This zone is on a 15 minutes time frame, 15 minutes engulfing. So I want price to come and tap in here, probably go to the upside again. As price is coming, it's going to leave us different other blocks, or it's going to create different other blocks on its way. So we are likely to get something like this. Okay, before it's goes. So as it's going back, then we are going to mitigate any of the higher time frames POI, and then we drop more to the downside. Okay, and we drop more to the daily time frame zone. So that is my view on GBP USD. If you have any other, you can also type it in the comment section, then I look at it. Okay, my order has mitigated, so you should look at just having a stop loss, a very tight stop loss, because this is the zone, and the zone is very, very big. So price could still go inside the zone and create a better entry. Okay, but you and I cannot tell what price is going to happen. So we are just taking advantage of this little one here. So we just don't work so much on it, just above the wick here. And that's 15 pips. Okay, just risking 15 pips on this particular trade. But then we are targeting 100 and sorry, we are targeting 80 pips on this particular trade. Yes. So that's my view on GBP USD. It's a bearish one. Okay. So you just need a better confirmation in the itself. Price can as well do this. Okay. If you haven't entered, then wait. Okay. Price can clear these highs. Okay. Clear these highs. And then finally now drop to the downside. So this is another scenario too. So price can break structure to the upside, giving you a stop hands, okay, and that will be more better off than this entry you're getting. Yeah, so that's that for GBP USD. I think our time is up. If there's nothing else to we are going to end this stream and then save time for that. Quickly you can drop it and then continue. If not, then a blessed day. I mean, all right, since there's no comment again, we'll end this section for another day. Thank you all for joining and then enjoy your day.